Yeah, the scenarios reflecting. Do you have that? No. See, this document right here. So, oh, but it's in there. It's not word for word dynamically written. It just down here. This page reference. Okay. I've got different what you got. The front page in y'all is going to be like this right here. But about the third page down, you're going to start with the governor's proposal. And then the second page, that's where he's at on scenarios. Okay? All right. Like I said, that's not the first time we're going to stop you.
Mr. Chairman.
All right. Go ahead.
So to step back and talk a little bit about the scenario that we run that lowers business costs. The idea here would be at Arkansas businesses are one of the ways in which they're competing is they're competing for workers against some states that have either lower or no personal income taxes. And so in order to compete, they're offering relatively higher wages or salaries in order to attract workers. And this raises their labor costs. Now, for example, in the case of an personal income tax cut, they would be facing relatively less competition because they wouldn't be having to compensate for as high of an income tax rate as they had before they lowered. And so companies are able to either pay their workers lower salary or perhaps in practice offer smaller raises over time in order to compete while their employees remain equally well off because they're receiving a lower salary or wage, but they're also having to pay less in personal income taxes. And that allows, in this case, the worker to be unharmed, but the business to lower their costs. So that would be the idea of that part of that aspect of the scenario. As we'll see, that the results aren't going to be wildly different, but there are going to be some differences of note between the two scenarios. And again, we also look at a blended approach where we look at both businesses and individuals are directly helped. And so in looking at the governor's proposal, we have these three scenarios. And for each of these three scenarios, we look at a case with no corresponding expenditure decrease, and we look at one scenario that does have a corresponding expenditure decrease. We look at both just a direct revenue loss and then a balanced budget scenario where the expenditures are cut as well. And so the first two scenarios are going to be this blended approach, and we're also going to look at the no expenditure decrease scenario and then the expenditure, the balanced budget scenario as the second one. So the first two are the blended approach. The next two look at just the impact of the decrease in production costs, that scenario, and finally just the decrease in personal income taxes and the increase in disposable income. So for each scenario, we provide bracket by bracket and the impact on income tax, the dynamic impact on income tax revenue in that bracket. So here, for example, in this first scenario, we'll see. So this is stripping away the income tax cut and looking at just what is earned back in income taxes as a result of the increase in economic activity. We'll see that more clearly on the next slide. But just to show you, so for example,